Hello, everyone. I'm just going to give you guys a minute to get all online and get my phone here all set up. And then I am very excited to be able to go live today. Why am I singing? I don't know. Spirit is crazy today, you guys. I got to tell you, I've been buzzing around here and I feel like I'm not in control of my own thoughts. I don't know if you've ever tried to multitask where you like pick something up and you go to start one thing and then the next thing you know, you're like doing something else, and like every room you go into, you don't finish one task, you just like start something else. I feel like I'm like off in la la land today. So I apologize that I wasn't able to go live last week, but let me tell you, it's almost as if God kind of took the last couple weeks readings that I did where I said that I talked about betrayal a few weeks ago, and then I talked about the power of our thoughts and how our thoughts control our emotions. And it's almost like God said, you know what, Tracy? Time to live what you preach. And during this move, let me tell you, it has been one of the most challenging moves that I have ever done in my life. One of the biggest moves as well, because I'm happy to say that we have a nice big house that's big enough for everybody. Yay! But every single thing that you can think of, and some of the most emotional things that you can think of, hit me that last week when I was trying to move. And so those videos that I made a couple of weeks ago where I talked about, sending people who are trying to hurt you the energy of the things that you want. If you want love, send them love. If you want compassion, send compassion. If you want forgiveness, send forgiveness, etc., etc. It's extremely important because let me tell you, that all came very much into play for me this last week. And I think if I had have taken the other thought process of, being angry and bitter and throwing that out there and having that energy, those situations that I was dealing with would have been so much worse. And because I had done that, I guess in those situations, I had to keep reminding myself, listen, Tracy, you were just telling everybody about this. Control your thoughts here. Focus on what you can control and let go of what you can't. And trust that when it's out of your control, it's in theirs and it's in his. And as long as you believe that and you understand that, you're going to be okay. And look here I am. Nice new house. I know you guys can't see most of it, and that's a good thing because it's not nearly unpacked enough yet. But here we are. We made it through the move, and I couldn't be happier. Now it's just about, I've depleted every resource that I have, but we're here and we will move forward from here. So I'm excited to give some readings today, and I'm definitely ready to start taking calls. So, I've got to get some spirit out of my head, man. I have no actual thought process of my own right now. So if you would like to get a live free reading, then just give me a call at the number that I posted there. It is, again, well, I don't have time to tell you. You'll have to look. Here we go. First person. Oh, hello? Hi. Hold on one second, hun, because there we go. Hello?
Hi.
There, now you're on speaker. Sometimes somebody else calls right after you and I can't get you on speaker.
Oh, okay.
That's okay. Okay, so
worked out good.
Yay! So you're the first caller today, and actually the first person to call on my live readings in my new house. Yay!
Awesome.
So what's your first name, hun?
It's Andrea.
Andrea. Okay, so can I get you to do the grounding exercise for me?
Sure it is.
If you could be sitting somewhere, if you're flat on the floor, and then I want you to take a deep breath, but picture that deep breath starting at your big toe and slowly pull it all the way up through your body and then blow it straight through the phone at me, and then just give me a couple of minutes to focus.
Sure.
Okay. 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 So give me a second to make sense of this energy because all of a sudden I started feeling really shaky and my heart started beating really fast. And so give me just a second to understand this. Hold on. There is definitely a father figure that steps forward. However, I almost want to say that this would be like father-in-law or uncle. Like, I feel like they're taking me to the side at the same time that I feel a father figure role. Do you know what, does that make sense to you?
Possibly an uncle. Maybe?
Okay, hold on a sec.
Okay.
Slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. So this guy's he's very precise, I have to say. He's obviously knows the way I work. He's like, okay, one of the ways that I ask Spirit to validate who they are is by either making me feel or explaining how they passed away so that you will know who this person is. And so as his energy came forward, I just felt this rush of like shakiness in my heart and I couldn't breathe. And so this gentleman is definitely talking about before he passed away that this was, I don't know if he passed of like breathing issues or a chest issue, but I definitely feel the I don't know how to explain it.
Could be a heart issue, yeah.
Okay.
If it's who I'm thinking it is.
Okay. So who is this person to you?
He would be my uncle, my
Okay.
mom's brother.
That's exactly. I thought it was because he kept showing me the father figure, but to the side. Okay. This is interesting. Was he bald by any chance? He's showing me a bald head, and I don't know what this means. Like, hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what this means. I'm seeing like a completely bald head. He's not showing it to me any different.
Okay.
So if this was not him, then he's talking about somebody that's here in the physical world that has the completely bald head.
My dad does.
And is he still here in the physical world?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So he's referencing your dad. I feel like it's in a teasing way. It's almost like, hey, Baldy. Like, that's the way I keep seeing it, is like him walking up and like showing me this bald head. Like, look at this, he. Like in a teasing kind of way.
Okay, that's funny.
And then he's like, if I didn't tease him, then he wouldn't know it was me.
Okay.
Okay, so there's also a female that's on the other side. Hold on a second. There's a few people, and they're coming through a little bit interestingly. Hold on. The lady is showing me the wiggle, so when I see them do the wiggle, that's usually my symbol for somebody who had mobility issues or couldn't move around to the way that they liked before they passed away. And that has free mobility on the other side. She definitely feels very grandmotherly-ish, I guess.
Okay.
Hold on a second. When she talks about her passing, she talks about how it took a while to be able to get to the stage where she was ready to pass away, but then that went really fast. It's almost like we're talking about somebody who was dealing with like an illness for a while, but wasn't extremely sick until the very end, and then it went very fast. Does that make sense?
Kind of. That could be, actually. I have two grandmothers over there, so.
Okay, so the one that is speaking right now definitely had the mobility issue,
Okay.
and then is talking about that like the end went very fast.
Okay.
I feel like I want to go. Sorry? Hello?
Yeah, hi.
Okay, I feel like I want to go to mom's side.
Okay, yeah.
That makes sense for mom's mom?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so she's a little distracted by the kids. Like I feel her energy turn to me, but then turns back to the kids. I feel like that's why your uncle got to come first, because normally he would not be allowed to come first. She would have stepped forward first, but she's like somewhat distracted by the kids, and she's just like telling me how beautiful she's doing what I call grandma gush, which is where, grandmothers like you see in movies and stuff, they like grab your cheeks and they're like, oh my God, I just love you so much. Like, grandma gush. This is how she's acting with the children, and she's making it very clear that you know that she sees your children. So did she pass away before your kids were born?
She did.
That's why. So she really wants you to know that she's watching over them. She's also talking about watching over them when you can't be with them. So did you just start a job, or did they just start school, or is there something about that? Because she's making a point to let you know that when you're not around, she's watching over them.
Okay, my oldest just started kindergarten this year.
There we go. And you were really worried about him when you're not around.
Yes, for sure.
She's like, I got my eyes on him. I never take them off. Don't you even worry about that.
Oh, that's awesome to hear.
She really wants to talk about the haircuts. And I say cuts because I feel like there was more than one. And she's like just gushing about, it's almost like it's about time and they look gorgeous. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay. So this is just her validating for you that her soul has not left you, and that even though she's on the other side, she's very much watching over you. She's showing me my symbol for pride, and then she's making me feel like I knew you'd be okay. I knew this would work out for you. It's almost like I don't know if this is just when you were younger or shortly before she passed away, you kind of went through a rough time. But I almost feel like it's a rough time as a family. And then she's like talking about how I knew you'd be okay. Look at you now. She's like, I'm so proud of you. Does that make sense to you?
It does, yes.
Okay. Your uncle is coming through a little bit again. He really has a message for your dad. I know it's not that he doesn't love you or anything. He's thanking you for like giving him this opportunity, but I feel like there's something important he needs to say to your dad. So hold on a second. Was your dad not able to make it there when he passed away, or for the funeral or something like that? Because he's showing me my symbol for whispering in the ear, which is when spirit acknowledges that they've heard everything that somebody has said since they've passed. And he's talking about that something about it's not your dad's burden to bear. Like it's okay. Does that make sense to you?
Oh, if this isn't my uncle and it's my grandfather, my brother you're talking about, this just all made sense. The ball pen.
There you go. Okay, so this...
My brother blames himself for my grandfather's death.
I see. Okay, that's what he's talking about. He's like, it's not your burden to bear. This is why it's extremely important that he lets him know this message. Hold on a second. So this is a grandfather. So
if it's possibly, it could be my grandfather on my dad's dad.
Okay, so I'm going to ask him to validate for me so that we can make sure, okay? He takes me right to the chest or the heart. He's like, it was quick. It was gone.
Yes.
But it's like, there's like gone. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. The calves had got out. If this is making sense. It's like a big light bulb moment.
Yeah, sometimes I call that spirit brain. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense until it hits you like a rock.
Yes, the bald, my brother.
Oh.
The one who got my grandfather and said the calves got out. But they believed it was a brain aneurysm or something, because it was just, he was out at the barn and he just dropped and that was it.
I see.
My brother was young, a young kid.
I see. Is he bald now?
Yes.
That's why he's teasing him. That's why he's teasing him.
Yes.
Okay.
This makes, wow.
So please let your brother know that your grandfather does not hold, it's not his fault. He's telling your brother to look at it through adult eyes. And your brother did absolutely nothing wrong. It was just his time. He's apologizing for leaving like that, for, that being on your brother's soul this whole time. But he says it's time to let that go. He's like, it's not your fault.
Wow.
Okay, so hold on. He's talking about that he's got this. He's like, you got this, dude. You got this. You got this. I know you can do it this time. I know you've got this. It's almost like your brother is like, I don't know how to explain it. He's moving up a ladder, or he's getting something under control. I don't know how to explain it, but your grandfather is like, you got this, and I'm right behind you. I almost feel like if there's an addiction issue or something. Does that make sense?
Maybe one of them. There's a lot of brothers.
No, I believe I'm still talking to the same one.
Okay. I personally don't know about an addiction issue, but we don't live in the same city, so.
Then he just showed me the breaking of the cigarette. Does he smoke?
No.
Weird.
No, not that I know of. My goodness, no.
Because again, the signs he's showing it to me is like addiction. But when I say like addiction, like he's showing me different signs for addiction. So he's not using the same one. So sometimes when they do that, it's because it's not a normal kind of thing we're addicted to. Sometimes we can be addicted to, negative thinking, or we can be addicted to blaming ourselves for things and like getting into relationships where we take all the blame and we just get walked all over. You know what I mean? There's something emotionally
like him.
That would make sense with him.
Yes.
Okay, that's exactly what he's talking about. And that's why he's bringing it up in this manner. It's because, some of that stemmed from your brother taking responsibility for your grandfather's death. And it's created a bit of an addiction for him, in the sense that now, or habit, I guess would be maybe another way to put that. In the sense now he just does that all the time, and your grandfather's like, no, this time is different. This time you don't need to do that anymore. You can let that go. This wasn't your fault then, and it's not your fault now. And I got your back on this side.
That's amazing.
Then he's talking about the birthday. So he's wishing, was it just your brother's birthday, like either 2 months before or 2 months coming up?
Not the brother that I'm thinking of, no.
It could have been around the time that he passed away, that's more like it. The birthday he's talking about is like, okay, so as I'm speaking about this, he's showing it to me more clearly. He's taking me to around the time that he passed away, the grandfather, and he's talking about being very grateful to have that birthday time before he passed away. So it was somebody's birthday right before he passed away.
Okay.
That he attended.
Okay. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, you don't remember now, but I'm sure be able to validate that with your family afterwards and figure that out, because he's just expressing that he's really grateful that he had that time.
Okay.
And they're pulling their energy back. I hope that was helpful for you.
Wow, that was. Thank you so much, Tracy.
You're very welcome. You have a great day.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Okay. See, and that does happen sometimes. Like I call it spirit brain. We get up here and it's like, I know so many people on the other side, I don't know who you're talking about. But once spirit gets talking and they are able to get through all their messages, then it becomes pretty clear who they're talking about or who we're talking to on the other side. So I'm absolutely ready to take another call. If you want a reading, then just give me a call. Like that. All right, here we go. Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Are you calling for the free reading?
Yes.
What's your first name?
Lisa.
Lisa? Okay, Lisa, just give me 1 minute to focus here. Okay, this is a little bit interesting already. Slow down. I feel like we got a couple of women that are here right away and very talkative. Like, they come through and I just hear blah, 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 blah. It's like, slow down. You got to tell me who you are first. Hold on a sec. There's absolutely a mother figure that's on the other side. So this could either be mom or grandma or even an auntie perhaps. Hold on, I'm going to ask her to validate how she passed. When I do that, I feel like I go to the head, and normally when spirit takes me to the head, that means either stroke, aneurysm, Alzheimer's or dementia, or a lack of communication, but it almost feels painful, if that makes sense.
Not sure. I can't remember what my grandmother died from.
Do you remember if she had some form of dementia before she passed away?
No, she fell down and broke her hip, and just after that she died.
I see. Maybe that's why it feels painful, because normally when they take me to the head, it doesn't feel painful. But like if there's a fall or something like that, it could absolutely. But it's almost like there's a blood clot, or there's something where it's just like gone.
She went fast.
Okay, so hold on a sec. She comes through so nurturing and motherly and just so caring. And she's talking about a distance. Okay, so hold on, slow down. When they show me the location symbol, that usually means, okay, so hold on. She's going really fast. She's like, she shows me one symbol and then the next and the next, and I'm supposed to keep up, so hold on. Okay, so kind of like in the game of charades where they'll say, you go like first word and then they act it out, second word and they act it out kind of thing. First word is like this huge surge of like empathy and love and that emotion towards you. The second thing is a feeling of being separated. So I don't know if that means that she's been on the other side for a very long time, or she lived far away from you before she passed away, but she's definitely showing me the distance symbol.
She's been gone for 10 years.
I see. Okay, so hold on. She's like, but I'm not gone. For goodness sake, can you just tell her that I'm not gone? I'm still here. Like, she's still watching over you. She's still watching over the family. She's talking about greeting people who have come to the other side since she passed away. She's talking, pardon me?
I have many that have passed.
Yeah, so, and that's kind of the way that this energy stepped forward as soon as you said hello. Remember I said there was like all these voices, and I just felt like there was all these women like talking to me at once.
My mother died a year after.
There we go. Okay,
My
so
aunt died 2 months after.
okay, so who? Okay, they're restricting my throat. Like, I can't breathe.
My mother died of cancer a year later.
And there was something with the throat where she couldn't, like, was she trached maybe? Or
she wasn't responsive for a full week.
I see. Okay, so hold on a sec. This is definitely, as soon as you said that, it eased off and I can breathe. So the reason why your grandmother stepped forward first was to let you know that she was there to greet your mom's soul when she got to the other side. Okay, so your mom steps forward with rose-colored glasses, though, hon. Rose-colored glasses are my symbol for when spirit sees things differently on that side than they did when they were here in the physical world. Hold on a sec. Slow down. I don't know what this means, but I feel like she's learning to be accountable on the other side. It's almost like she was trying to blame somebody else for something, or was your mom kind of bitter before she passed away?
I was bitter.
You were bitter. Okay, because I can taste the bitterness. Okay.
Yes. My sister.
I feel like she's apologizing for the lack of communication. She's apologizing for not being able to say what you needed her to say or do what you needed her to do.
Yes.
It's funny because I don't think your mom is a huge dog person. As I can hear the dog in the background, I can see her rolling her eyes. Like, was mom not a big dog person?
She was a cat lover.
There we go. That's
Yeah,
exactly.
she loved dogs too.
But it's almost like she rolls her eyes and is like, if this was a cat, we wouldn't be having this issue right now. Hold on. She keeps showing me the handwriting. Is there something about a letter or a card? Hold on a second. Where are we going with this? Slow down. She's talking about writing stuff down. I'm not sure if this was her that wrote stuff down before she passed or if that you've written stuff down since she's passed. That's it.
I got a lot of her stuff with her handwriting on it.
Okay. So she's acknowledging sitting with you while you're going through it, though. Did you just recently go through all this or look at all this?
Yes, my brother passed away 3 years ago, tragically.
Okay. Well, you know what happens every time. See, for me, as soon as you say that somebody's on the other side, their soul steps forward. Slow down. Okay, so as he steps forward very interestingly. First of all, I feel like this was either an accident or it should never have happened. But secondly, I feel like when he steps forward, there's white lighters all around him. So what white lighters are they're kind of like angelic beings, but they don't have like features, eyes and fingers and stuff. They're human shaped. They're just pure white light. And typically I see them surround somebody who takes responsibility for their passing or that there was an extreme amount of trauma around their passing. Does that make sense to you? Okay, so hold on. He's like apologizing profusely. Did your brother take his own life by any chance?
No, he suffered from PTSD and he had a heart attack in his house and was there for 4 months.
Wow. Okay, because he's definitely taking some responsibility, and I'm not exactly sure why. So hold on a second. That's exactly why. He's taking responsibility because he's talking about other people that are holding this on their heart, like, I should have done this, I should have done that, I could have done this, I could have done that. And he's like, this was nobody else's fault but my own. And so it might not be that he caused his own death. However, he didn't accept the help. He keeps showing me the hanging up of the phone, like that people had tried to help him or tried to get him to do things that would help himself, and he refused. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, he was moving back here. He was 7 hours away. He was moving back here because he just retired from the military after serving 28 years, and he was coming back here because he knew I was going to help him get help with his PTSD.
Yeah. He's like this.
Upside down.
He's
my
like
whole family when it came to me.
This is why he's taking responsibility and he's trying to take it off your shoulders. You are not responsible for his passing. Nobody else is responsible for his passing. And he's making me feel like he's got even more responsibility than that. It's almost like, sometimes when I hear spirit talk like that, it will be from somebody who, say, was an alcoholic for 20 years and then the last 10 years of their life they quit and they still die of a heart attack. Do you know what I mean? He's talking about taking responsibility for the condition that his body was in at the time of his death. Does that make sense?
He drank a lot.
There we go.
But that was the only way he could hide his pain.
He just said that's where you're wrong, and that's what he knows now from the other side, is that hiding the pain wasn't the right answer. It should have been dealing with it. And then he points to you and he said, you were right. I should have been dealing with it, not hiding it. And he wants you to release yourself from those burdens that you've been carrying ever since. Hold on a second. He's got something to say to the rest of the family. He shows me the heart and he shows me it breaking. And then he points to everybody and he shows me the scatter, if that makes sense. It's almost like since his passing, everyone's scattered. And he's talking about that's what's breaking his heart. He's like, you let everybody know that I take responsibility for my own passing and that somebody was willing to help me. So are they blaming you because they're saying that you stressed him out to the point that he passed or something like this? Because
no, he left me everything.
Oh, I see.
They're angry and they're mad.
It doesn't matter because you were the... Exactly. You were the one that was there for him. That's exactly how he's putting it. It's like, you know what? What they're saying isn't true. That's exactly how he puts it. It's like, whatever they're saying is not true. He's like, you know the truth. And I know the truth.
They just want money.
He's expressing love to everybody. At the same time as this is why he's showing me that he's surrounded by white lighters on the other side, because it's not so much his passing that he has to heal from. It's healing from the damage that it's left behind in other people's lives. Do you know what I mean?
I know that he would be destroyed if he knew the outcome of everything that happened. I was left with my world turned upside down fighting 5 people.
Hold on a sec. He just whispered in my ear. He's like, Tracy, she felt me, though. She felt me. She knew I was there. She knew.
Yeah, he came to me. He came to me that night, and he came to my room, and he said, call me. I was after calling him the day before, like every other day, and leaving messages. And when I called him, as soon as he told me, he came in my room, and he told me to call him, his phone was disconnected, and I knew he had passed. And I knew that he was gone for at least 3 months because he didn't pay his bill.
There you go. Hold on a sec. He wants to validate that that was real, that he absolutely came to you that night.
He did.
But he says he still comes to you.
Oh, all the time.
Okay, hold on. He's talking about being with you through the move. I know you said he was moving, but I feel like you are moving or you have moved since he's passed away.
I bought a house out of his retirement money.
There you go. He was with you through that, he says, and he's very excited about that purchase. He's like, yeah, he's like, so something really great happened out of this.
Yes.
He's
it
like,
took
don't...
me a year to accept it. So I was living in this house for a year, and finally a butterfly came to my tree the exact day that I was here a year. And I realized that I have to live his retirement for him to be honored and respected.
And as you say that, he just shows me my symbol for pride. And I can feel the love that comes between you and him. He's also showing me that him and Mom have had a chance to find forgiveness, or I don't know how to explain this. He's showing me the handshake on the other side with Mom. Now, the handshake either means 2 people meeting for the first time, which clearly she gave birth to him, so she's not meeting him for the first time. But it also means the coming together, the forgiveness, or the meeting of 2 minds again. Does that make sense?
Yes, and he wanted me before he died to talk to my older sister again. Although she did what she did to my mother, and I couldn't forgive, I couldn't just live with it, and I don't want anything to do with her because of what she had done to my mom. And he always wanted me to talk to her again, and I know that he wants it, but it's never going to happen.
Well, he's letting you know that they have found each other on the other side, that there's forgiveness there. As for your sister, he shows me this where he puts his hands up and stands back and he says, nope. He's like, I've learned enough to stay the hell out of it. That's what I've learned.
Yeah.
He just wants you to know that he is absolutely still with you, that they're watching over you. And even your grandmother is over there and they're all together on the other side. But
my father's there too.
Pardon me?
I have a father there too. He died he was electrocuted when I was 3. And I have another brother.
Okay. You're bringing so many people forward. Sorry, as soon as you said the father, I saw this gentleman step forward who told me he had much more hair than his son.
He was identical, actually.
That's funny. Okay, but I'm going to have to let you go here because there's a lot of other people, and you're one of those people I could really sit down and read with for hours, but...
I have many over there.
Yes. I hope this was helpful.
Yes, it is. You wouldn't believe it because my heart has been broken.
Oh, well, I hope that today helps you know that absolutely your brother doesn't want you to hold yourself accountable for any of this. He holds himself personally responsible, and he wants you to just live your life happy and knowing that they're still with you on the other side.
I can feel them every day.
Awesome. Well, you have an amazing day.
You too. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye. Okay. Let's see if I can do this. Oh. Hello? Whoops.
Hi.
Hello? Oh, sorry. Hold on one second. Somebody here, hold on. Hello? Are you there?
Hello?
Hi. Can you hear me?
Sorry, hold on 1 second.
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you turn me down in the background, please?
It's down.
There we go. Okay, sorry about that. Sometimes people call in too quick. I don't get a chance to get you on speakerphone before the next call starts coming in. Okay, so you were calling for the free readings?
Yes.
Okay. What is your first name?
Randy.
Randy. Okay, so just give me a minute here to focus. So you have like 4 people that step forward. It's almost like there's a little battle going on for who gets to talk first. Can I get you to do me a favor and just do a little bit of a grounding exercise just so I can help focus my energy where it needs to go first? So what I'll get you to do is just put your feet flat on the ground and then take a deep breath, but picture that deep breath starting at your big toe and slowly pull it up through your body and then blow it straight through the phone at me. And then I'm just going to focus for a minute. Okay, I want to start with the person that passed in the tragedy because they're showing me my symbol for accident or tragedy and passing quickly. This person definitely doesn't feel like they lived to an old age, so they feel like they're a younger soul. That doesn't mean they're like 10 or anything. It just means that they didn't live to be like an old man. Who would that person be for you?
Probably my stepfather.
That passed in the tragedy.
Well, yes. Well,
Okay.
Heart attack. Yeah.
Hold on a sec. But why does he make me feel like it was such a scene? Like, it was a big, messy scene. Like, it's almost like we were out in public or, like, I don't know how to explain it. There's this feeling of, like, oh my God, worst timing ever. Does that make sense?
Not only that is his home, and he passed in front of his daughter.
So he's regretful that that took place in front of his daughter because he's like, worst timing ever.
Yes.
You know what he does though? He takes deep breaths, which is usually my symbol for somebody who can breathe clearly on the other side that maybe had a hard time breathing here in the physical world. And I don't feel like he had like lung cancer or anything, but it's almost like I feel like there's this, like either he was a bigger guy or a smoker or something where I feel like I'm having trouble catching my breath. Does that make sense?
That's, yeah, I guess related to a heart attack it would.
Okay. Was he a bit of a bigger guy?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I'm picking up there. Hold on a second. What did you do with his car? Because I don't know what that means, but he's like, what'd they do with my car? Like, what's going on with the car?
Not sure if it's his car or...
There's something going on with someone's car right now, because he's talking about the car. That's the first thing he says is like, we need to talk about the car. What's going on with the car? I interpret it as his car, but it could be yours, or if there's whatever that situation is with the car right now.
Probably his camper.
His camper?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Why is he bringing this up? It would have to be something that was like, hold on. Was this like his pride and joy or like his baby or something like this?
Yeah, he drove it every day.
There we go. But I feel like we sold it or something instead of it getting passed down. And he's like, it's okay.
Yes.
That's exactly that's why I think he's like, what did you do with my car? Like, you were supposed to hit it down, but why didn't anyone take it? We sold it? And then he's like, that's okay. Hold on a sec. Okay, so he's bringing up the mother figure. Is your mom still here in the physical world?
Yes, my mother-in-law, yes.
Okay. What he's doing is he's putting... Okay, sorry, this is your father-in-law that we were speaking to?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, my wife's stepfather, yes.
I see, okay. That makes more sense. Okay, all I know is he's bringing up the mother figure and he's putting the white blanket around her shoulders, which is my symbol for somebody who's having health or stress issues. He's wanting you to know that he's watching over her on the other side. Slow down, hold on. He just stuck his hand out to shake your hand and say thank you. He's definitely showing me my symbol for thank you over and over and over again. He wants to thank you for the support, and I feel like you've gone above and beyond for what you need to do for her. Does that make sense?
Yes.
He wants you to know that he sees that from the other side, and he's extremely grateful. Is there something about her getting a new doctor, or there's like... Oh, no, hold on. I don't know if I'm even switching spirits. I feel like somebody else is trying to talk here. Hold on a second. There is also a mother figure that is stepping forward and... Okay, so slow down. She's talking about all the doctors in the world. We could have gotten a new doctor. It wouldn't have helped. It's almost like somebody was upset about their diagnosis or wanted a second opinion or something like this. Do you know how that relates?
Yes.
And who is this person to you? Is this your mom or...
No, this would be either my wife's grandmother, or yeah, that's most likely who it is.
Your wife's grandmother. Is she in the room with you by any chance?
No.
Interesting.
You mean someone living or past?
No. I'm wondering if your wife is in the room with you right now as we're doing this reading, because it's all her family coming through. Were you just really close with them?
She's actually listening on your podcast.
There we go. That's why. See? Because they're talking to her.
And my mother-in-law, too.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Your podcast.
Okay, so hold on a second. That's why this is coming through so strongly. So I'm glad that they can hear me. Okay, so your mother-in-law is listening right now?
Yes.
Okay, then let me just tell her that her husband is showing me the gratitude symbol over and over and over and over again. He is extremely grateful for the life that she gave him, and she needs to know that it was enough. That everything that she did was absolutely enough. And he needs her to know that, because it's almost like ever since he passed away that she keeps saying to herself that I could have done this differently, or I could have done that differently, or I could have changed this somehow. And, you know, he just wants her to know, like, thank her for giving him an amazing life. He shows me two different lives. It's almost like, I don't know if he was married before her. It's almost like there was a relationship that happened before her, and that was really not good in his life. And then she came around and just turned everything around in his life. Does that make sense? I know it might be hard for you to validate.
No, 100%.
Okay. So hold on. He's like, I haven't missed an anniversary yet. I'm not going to. So there must be an anniversary that just passed or is coming up.
Yes.
I feel like she felt him on her anniversary, or there's something that he's acknowledging this was real. This was real. He needs her to know that. He takes a bit of a step back. He sticks out his hand. To shake yours again, and he thanks you for being like such a great man in his daughter's life. Was your wife married before you as well?
No.
Interesting, because he's making me feel like she made the better choice with you, if that makes sense. I don't know what he means by that.
Yes, it does make sense.
Okay, but she wasn't actually married. She just, because that's how he put it, is she made the better choice with you. You need to know that.
Yes.
So he's just expressing his love, and I find it interesting that all of your your in-laws' families came forward, even though it was you that phoned in. But please know that all of your loved ones are definitely watching over you on the other side.
Could I ask about one more, and it's my father?
I was just going to say there is. Hold on a second. As soon as I got them to pull their energy back, there was a father figure that stepped forward. Hold on. Okay. He maybe is not as big of a talker as they are, your in-laws' families, I guess. It's almost like he's more reserved or polite, so to speak. Hold on.
Yes.
Which is why he let them go first. Okay, slow down. He's also taking deep breaths, letting you know that he can breathe clearly on the other side. But then I feel like there's some kind of like fogginess in the brain. Like, I don't know if he wasn't able to communicate or he wasn't able to think properly towards the end. But he's definitely talking about something to do with the head and the breathing. Even, was he like in a hospital bed or something? Because he's even doing the wiggle. Like, I can move freely on this side now.
Yes.
Okay, that's why. So he's like showing me the whole gambit, but he's wanting you to know that, like, he's making me feel like somebody's holding my hand and somebody's talking to me. So was he unable to communicate towards the very end of his life?
Yes.
And you guys were with him, because he's showing me the holding of the hands and acknowledging that he can feel people there holding his hands. And he doesn't specifically just say one person, because I feel like we rotate. Like, I almost feel like we're arguing over whose turn it is, if this makes sense.
Well, yeah, sort of. Yes.
Hold on. He feels like he's grateful that he was able to get some closure before he passed away. It's almost like we knew this was coming, so he had some time to deal with this, and to get his priorities in order, and he's very grateful for that. He's talking about the closure that he had when he passed away, and that he's extremely grateful to each one of you for being able to help him with that closure. And he really liked his service, I have to say. He's talking about it being the most beautiful service that anyone's ever seen.
Yes, we think so. Yes.
He just said very clearly, he said, "I'm proud of you, boy. I'm sorry that I may not have said that as often as I should have, but I'm proud of you. And you need to know that." So he definitely wasn't the type of dad that went around gushing about emotion all the time.
No.
He really wants you to know that. And then he also, you have children right now?
Yes.
Because then he gets all spunky and he's like, "And man, am I ever proud of the way that you are raising those kids." He's like, "You're raising your children with way more emotion than was given to you." And he's extremely proud of you for that. He's talking about you being a very hands-on dad. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Which is quite different than your dad, the way your dad was with you. I almost feel like mom did everything. He was just the one that worked and paid the bills and that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So please know that as you raise your children and you go on with your life, that your dad is right beside you. And he tells me that he's learning from you, that he's extremely grateful that his lack of emotional parenting did not cripple you, and that you are able to give that kind of emotion to your children. And that just warms his heart so much. Have you guys been trying for one more?
No.
If you're still baby making age, then I would take precautions. And if you're not, then there is definitely a baby coming into the family somewhere, because he's acknowledging the child that's on the other side with him that I feel like is still coming to this world, or as he puts it, back to this world. So somebody lost a child in the family, and like that could either be abortion, miscarriage, etc., or very, very like stillbirth, very new. And this child's soul is coming back again.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so if you guys are childbearing years still, I would be very careful if you're not looking for another child, because this boy's coming.
Boy.
Yeah, that I'm very certain that this is a male child. The energy is outlandish. That doesn't mean that they were a boy when they were in this life before. Do you know what I mean? It could have been a girl baby that passed away that chooses to come back as a boy. But this energy, this rambunctious, I got 3 boys of my own, so I recognize boy energy. This is definitely a boy.
Right. I know my grandson was born 2 months ago.
There we go. Thank you. Okay, that's exactly what he's talking about. So he's acknowledging the new baby that's been born in the family. And like I said, I can feel this child's all boy.
Oh, yes.
Very much so. So this is Dad's way of just acknowledging that he sees them from the other side and that his soul is still with you.
Great.
I hope that was helpful.
Yes.
All right. You have a great day.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, guys, it's 1 o'clock, so that looks like well, I guess it's 5 too, but I don't have time to take another call because then I'll be reading for 20 minutes. You know me, I can't shut up. But I will definitely try to come back on again before or next Tuesday for absolute certain. But if I can get this house put up again, I mean, I just had so much fun. That time just goes by so quickly that I just might pop back on again this week. So stay tuned to my Facebook page there, because I will absolutely let you know. I'll put a post up if I'm going to go live. All right, guys, have a great day, and I will talk to you guys soon. God bless.